Welcome everybody to the Evil Ewok podcast. Bit of a technical issue there, but we got it sorted out. I am alone for the time being, as you can see the blank thing right there. I'll get rid of that. Kat may be joining. Alex is watching John Wick Chapter 4. So we have a lot to talk about today. I can see that there's 5 people here. I can't see your comments for some reason. That is annoying. Let me see if I can bring it up on my other monitor because I want to see what you guys are saying, believe it or not. I gotta mute myself. Okay. Oh, look who it is.
Look what the cat dragged in. Zach, when I tell you I've literally had the day from the depths of hell, and then 5 minutes before we go live, I get fraudulent purchase alert.
Oof.
$150. Like, you know that book, Alexander and the Table of Rotten, No Good, Very Bad Day? Like, that's what this has been. Like, you're kidding. You are kidding me. What a perfect way to just top it off. Like, I thought I was in the clear. I was like, all right, it's 6 p.m. What more could go wrong from here on out? And
jinxed it.
The universe pulled through. The universe was like, if you're curious.
I'm just getting started.
Actually, though. So sorry, I'm late. Thank you for pushing it.
Oh, it's all good. There's a little bit of technical difficulties. It didn't make multiple streams this time, but it did take a little while to get going for some reason. But we're here now. And
we're not live, are we?
We are live. Yeah, this is live.
Wait. Oh, Schnikey.
I can't see the comment. The comments aren't showing up, so I
just came in and trauma dumped on you. Wait, y'all, I thought I was safe. Wait, did I curse at all during that?
No.
I said HE double hockey sticks. Dang it. Oh my god,
that's
I'm so sorry.
Profane, Cat.
I am so sorry, everyone.
Can you see the comments on Opus?
No, the latest I see one from you. I was like, who's Zach? That's so me. Stupid. And then I just see Opus. I don't see any comments though, but I should have known because I saw there's the little icon.
Yeah,
that
I can't.
5 people are watching.
I just have the stream up on YouTube on my other monitor, so I guess I'll yeah. This sucks because we can't pull up comments.
As if my day couldn't get any worse. This is awful.
This is awful.
God. Why does this also only happen too when we're just trying to have a good old throwdown cat and sack show?
This never happens when Alex is here. Wait, let me see. Is this working? No. Well, okay. I'm sorry, guys. We're not gonna be able to pull up your comments, but I will read them and I will read your name so that you get your recognition. But we got Charlie the Stanley's Quick Poker. Looks like Eli's here as well, and there's a few more people. I think Alice was here, Serena was here, but maybe they'll be back. But we've got quite a bit to talk about tonight. Let's start with the Mandalorian. What were your overall thoughts about the Foundling?
Yes, Alex was getting me prepped because he was like, I'm not going to be able to join you guys tonight, but I think you and Zach probably have some different opinions. I effing loved this episode. I've always loved Carl Weathers, his episodes in this show. They're always so just fun, and I think this episode also proved, because I felt like such a hypocrite because there I was shaming Alex when the episode dropped, and I was like, Alex, as if he had just like killed my firstborn child when he psyched us out, and we thought it was going to be like 40 minutes, and then we saw and it was 33, and we were like, why did I act like that was such a death sentence? Because in hindsight, it was a perfect example of if you can fill the space well and still tell a great, exciting story, then who needs an hour-long time slot, you know? So I appreciate that about Carl Weathers' episodes. They're always very intriguing and just fun and exciting, and well-paced, I think. So I loved it as a whole, and I certainly was not expecting what we got there for Order 66, but it was I was very pleased with how shocked I was, because I was beginning to worry. First off, I started having a mini heart attack when the door started being sliced open in the flashback, because I was like, they're going to fake us out again. They're actually going to leave us hanging out to dry.
Yeah.
And we're not going to get this. Like, part of me was like, holy crap, I'm going to leave feeling irate tonight because they're going to lead us on again. It just started to feel so real in the moment. And I was like, there's no way. So the fact that they actually delivered and I was still surprised, I was like, okay, this is satisfying, because I want at least some sort of shock value after this long of a wait. You know what I'm saying? So I was pleased about that.
Yeah, visitor Zeta says, "How are my little Ewoks this evening?" Cat could be better from the sound of it, but we're having a little technical issue. We can't display comments, so I apologize for that, everybody. Jerry says, "Hey, everyone." I think he means everyone. What's up, Jerry? But I don't know why Alex said that we would have like a lot of different opinions. I liked this episode. I didn't.
Oh, thank God!
Yeah, I didn't
You know
dislike
what?
it.
After this whole day I've been having, y'all, this entire saga of everything hitting the fan at once, I was so nervous because I was like, I gotta log on now and Zach and I are gonna fight. And it's just the last thing I want. Thank God. Okay, sorry. Please go on. Go
No,
on. I'm so
I don't.
happy.
I thought it was for the length, it was fun. It was a fun episode. I wouldn't say it was like in my top 5 favorite ever of all Mandalorian episodes, but it was solid. It was good, and I thought Carl Weathers did a nice job. I'm very much of the same opinion that I've always enjoyed his episodes. He manages to get the most out of every minute of runtime, I've noticed,
Yes.
and the man's a goddamn legend. But I think what Alex may have been referring to, we could talk about Order 66 now, is I don't know what it is, but every time they show the Jedi Temple Order 66 scenes, whether it's in Book of Boba Fett or The Mandalorian or in Obi-Wan Kenobi, um, it just doesn't hit me the way it should. And I think there's a reason. There's a variety of factors to that, and one, I think it always feels really small. Like the scenes feel small, like they take place in a hallway usually, and there's not a ton of clones, and Jedi get killed very easily, and then two, it doesn't look the same as Revenge of the Sith, and again, it's not fair because it's a movie. I'm comparing a movie to a television show, but I think that if you're going to go back to a time period, to a specific place that we've seen before on screen, you have to try to make it look as close as possible. And I don't know if it's the color grade that's causing it, or just the kind of blandness of the set design as opposed to how the temple looked in Revenge of the Sith and the scale of it. It just doesn't. It always disappoints me, unfortunately, in terms of, like, I guess, appearance.
That's very valid. No, I agree. I have no dispute with that at all. I just noticed also, because we're not getting any comments, we don't have emoji rain tonight.
I
I'm so
know.
sorry, folks. It's sad. It's so barren without it. But that is so valid, and I have, you're so right. It always takes place in like a corridor or like a hallway or something like that, and it does feel very like claustrophobic. I wonder, at least for Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett flashback purposes for Grogu, if that's an intentional artistic choice to have us, because you get Grogu's POV, and are you meant to feel like small and trapped in this tiny space, and you
Right.
only look over the shoulders and the backs of the Jedi while it's happening? Like, is it meant to feel like you're trapped? I agree with you though. Like, I don't think it felt similarly in the opening sequence of what we see in Kenobi a little bit, and we did get we got more of that like panoramic wide shot in Kenobi in regards to all of that going down. But Tom felt similarly. He I think you're onto something. Like, he was explaining that Order 66 is like the most gruesome thing to happen, and it doesn't necessarily feel like it has those stakes so much in the flashbacks that we've seen, which I think is fair. The clones especially, they just don't look. I can't believe I'm saying this because we always preach for practical, right?
Right.
And the clones in Revenge of the Sith are all CGI, no? So it's like, I think it's just that mental block of like, I know you're real, and technically, yes, I guess real people look better, but I think we just are used to and prefer like what we saw in the films.
I think it's definitely a factor. I also think, obviously, when I think back to other Order 66 scenes that don't necessarily take place at the temple, shout out to Tmoney for 19 months membership. That's a hell of a long time, Tmoney. Thank you so much. But when you think back to other Order 66 scenes, they all feel way more impactful and bigger. And I don't know if that's probably because we empathize more with those characters because we've spent time with them, whereas these characters that we've seen in the flashbacks in Boba Fett and Kenobi and Mandalorian, we don't know them. Like, we don't know any of those nameless Jedi who got slaughtered, and so we don't really feel anything. Whereas like Cal Kestis's escape on the ship in Fallen Order was intense as hell. That was like one of the highlights of the game. When Kanan, when little Kanan has to flee from the clones, and Bad Batch, it's so good. And then when Ahsoka is attacked by Rex and his company, like, so good. And these scenes just lack the. I think it's the scale. I think I keep coming back to scale. It just doesn't feel big. It doesn't feel like this, like Tom said, like this big galactic event that changed the course of history. It feels like a little skirmish. Like, oh, there's 8 clones and 4 Jedi, and 4 Jedi can't take out 8 clones or whatever. And it's just disappointing because we saw glimpses of the magnitude of Operation Nightfall in Revenge of the Sith. That sweeping shot from above where you see like just what looks like dozens of Jedi all scattered across the temple fighting hundreds of clones.
Right.
I just want, like, if they've included a shot like that, I think it would work better for me.
Yeah, that's valid. I agree with that. I wonder if maybe they toned it down because I don't know. Not that Mando is like a kid's show, but it's definitely not gotten as dark as like Andor, for example. I think they can still. I think, how dark has Mando even gotten? I don't know if I've even had instances while watching where I was like, oh my god, this is so. I can't believe they're doing this. So I wonder if that's why they seem to cater to everybody, which is perfectly acceptable. So maybe that's why they don't full send it and have, that was an interesting element as well. Like, Grogu is the only youngling in these shots. For whatever reason it might be. I think it's purposeful. But he's the only one being protected. There are no other younglings who are, hiding behind these Jedi Masters here that are, on the front lines. So I think they definitely keep it a little more PG as Order 66 can get.
I guess so. And another thing, I mean, the Jedi get kind of wiped out very easily. I think it also puts into perspective just how powerful Anakin and Obi-Wan and Yoda and Mace Windu, they could take on probably 20 clones and probably win, but these Jedi are getting gunned down by just a little team of like 6 to 8 clones. And I think we always took for granted how powerful these main characters are. There's a reason that we're following them in the story, but your average Jedi is not is not anywhere near that, which is pretty crazy. But let's talk about who rescued Grogu. It was finally revealed, and it was Jar Jar Binks himself. Ahmad Best.
Charlie was right, by the way. Charlie was right. Whether Charlie actually like knew via the Force that was going to happen and had some sort of telepathic prediction, I was right. Or if he was ironically just jokingly saying, "Guys, it's going to be Jar Jar," you were right. Either way, Charlie, you were right.
You were definitely right. Get at least half credit for that.
Yes. But yeah, that was definitely. I almost felt like my soul left my body for a second. I was like, wait, what? Like, what is even happening? So I really enjoyed it. And I think those of us who know, I think it's actually pretty much everybody knows what he went through post, prequels, kind of really a really dark time after
Yeah.
all of that. I mean, I don't think any of us can speak to what he had to go through following that experience, but let's just say we all have seen the Star Wars fandom at its worst, and he definitely had to take a brunt of it back then. So the fact that he's getting his time in the sun right now is just really glorious and beautiful.
I agree. My first thought when the doors opened and he was revealed is like, oh, good for him. Like,
I
it's just I felt
know.
so happy for him because like Jar Jar still gets a lot of hate. Like, it's cooled off a bit, but people still don't like Jar Jar. But Kelleran Beck is pretty like we don't really know much about him, but he seems pretty sick. And for him to get to play a freaking Jedi who wields two lightsabers of different colors and has this great chase scene throughout Coruscant, like it's pretty
Yes.
freaking baller. And also seeing the Naboo soldiers and hearing the Naboo blasters again, your soldiers, Cat.
Yes, literally. I was like, is this even to add a little sprinkle on top? Like that was definitely another surprise to be sure, but a welcome one.
Let's see what people are saying. Charlie says, I never gloat, but I remember saying, is someone going to pick up that phone? Because I called it. Oh, yeah, I do remember you saying that. Tmoney says, I watched the Jedi Temple Challenge show, so when I heard Kelleran, I was like, hold up. Yeah, I didn't. So when I heard Kelleran Beck, I'm like, oh, I don't know who that is. And then when it
Same.
revealed Ahmad Best, I kind of put two and two together. I wonder if the Amidalans are going to take Grogu to on Naboo. Padme dies like 2 days, so they could show her funeral in an episode 2.
Oh, frick. I don't
I'd
know if we're
love,
getting that,
yeah,
but
I'd love to see it in live action, but I don't know that this is the show. There's just no real connection
right.
to Padme, and that deserves a personal tie, um,
Right.
for
Like if she
sure.
wasn't in the Kenobi series, she ain't
Yeah,
gonna be in Mando. And this, please, I don't want it to sound like I'm making fun of that idea because the thought did cross my mind. I was like, is this how they're gonna bring back Natalie Portman? For a hot second, I
yeah, me
thought.
too. I thought that was her ship. I was like, it looks like
I
her ship, and I
know,
was like, what?
I know. I was like, hold the phone. Um,
That
but
would
I
have been
think
random as hell.
right? Again, I was like, were they holding out on Kenobi to save her for this for some grand reason? But that would have been that really would have short circuited my brain. I was already recovering from Ahmed Best. I don't think I could have handled that, but I think we got her funeral correct in Tales of the Jedi. So if we were to get
Yeah.
it twice in the span of 12 months, I don't know if my immune system would be able to handle that. So
Do you think we'll ever see her play Padme again?
the
It's hard.
fact that she came back to the MCU gives me hope, but I think MCU has a different symbolism in her career maybe than Star Wars. Like she might just be like she might just want to leave it at that. I mean,
Yeah.
she did that epic rap though on
Natalie's rap.
yeah.
I love
It
that.
was she clearly and it was totally it wasn't like she was like dunking on Star Wars. She was like, say something about him, say something, I dare you. So I think she looks back on it fondly. Maybe, but I think the time would have been Kenobi, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
what's gonna be as memorable again? Unless they end up eventually doing a Vader series or spin-off of some sort, then it would be like, please, we must. But
Oh, it did make two other streams. Why does it do this? Yeah, some
oh
people are saying they were in like other streams just sitting there. I'm sorry, guys.
no,
It's
no.
so I'm deleting those.
I brought the bad luck. I
I mean,
brought the
technically we were live before you got here, so I must have some bad luck.
bad.
Yeah, sorry guys. Yeah, Quentin says he was in another stream for 18 minutes.
No! Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Sorry, those are gone now. This is the only one. Let's see. Mike says if they're doing Clone Wars flashbacks in Ahsoka, maybe we could get her in a flashback. Maybe. I think, although it's not a very high likelihood, that's probably the last opportunity. Because she did have some episodes where she was with Ahsoka and they were friends. So that's probably it. But it's difficult because in the MCU, Jane Foster was still alive. In Star Wars, Padme is dead. So if if Natalie Portman was to come back, she'd have to play a younger Padme, and she's 20 years older now. It's not easy to pull off. Even though Natalie Portman is beautiful and she has not aged much, it's still 20 years is 20 years.
I mean, someone who's also beautiful and hasn't aged horribly is Hayden Christensen, but we can all be honest here.
Yeah.
It still was a little bit jarring seeing him like 40 years old as a
Padawan.
Yeah.
They could have. I think they could have pulled it off if it had been Revenge of the Sith Anakin. It would have been. He would have looked a little old, but the fact that they went with Padawan Anakin was a choice for sure.
Yeah, but also it was just Ewan looked so good. And they've all aged great. Like if I can age half as good as any of them, I'll count my lucky stars. But you could tell Ewan he looked good, and he looked like Revenge of the Sith, like Kenobi. It wasn't just like, oh, he looks really good for his age, Kenobi. It was like he looks like the 20 years ago Kenobi. So I don't know what happened there. That I don't know. Again, I never wanted to sound like I'm shading. I can't. It is very extremely expensive and time consuming. No, I think we saw with the process in the gallery for Mandalorian season 2, just even having that 6-minute, not even like 5 minutes of Luke Skywalker on screen was like such a huge deal. So I can't be out here complaining because those people are probably working overtime and it's like so difficult. So I'm not judging, but I'm just saying
they should have, if they were gonna do. I always say I don't love fan service, but if they were gonna do fan service, they should have fan service more in Kenobi. I think it would have. I think that's where they could have gotten away with it. Is because the whole show is kind of fan service, because you don't really need a Kenobi show between episodes 3 and 4, but it was fun to have. And that's fan service in a nutshell. It doesn't need to exist, but it's fun. And the fact that they didn't do a lot of fan servicey moments, or at least not as many as they could have, always has kind of confused me. But we went away. Let's go away from the Order 66 flashback and just to the rest of the episode as a whole. What did you think about rescuing the foundling, the whole process of that? And Alex and I touched on this a little bit, but is Din Djarin kind of fading into the background a little bit in his own show?
Ooh. I get those vibes, but I think they're still planting important, relevant ideas and themes that relate to him in this whole journey, like themes of fatherhood and him wanting Grogu to, walk the way and pursue a Mandalorian future. So I think those were sprinkled in, but it's definitely, it keeps coming back to Bo-Katan, which I am not gonna complain. And I don't mind, like, I don't know how many seasons there will be of, Mandalorian necessarily, but I don't mind like ensemble shows that do branch out and explore other characters, but then eventually, bring things back. Like those are some of my favorite shows to watch. I mean, there's definitely like episodes I feel like of Game of Thrones where maybe you go a couple episodes without seeing, the main peeps or whatnot, because there's 50 other characters to focus on. Yeah. So like, there's definitely episodes where it's like maybe you don't see somebody from the Stark family necessarily, or you don't see Daenerys, but they're still there and they're going to come back at some point. So
the book takes that to a whole nother level. Feast for Crows, the 4th book, you don't see, like, Jon Snow isn't in it, Tyrion isn't in it, I don't think Daenerys is in it. Like, you don't see them for a whole book, which is pretty nuts.
What? Yeah, what even happens in the book?
It's a lot of about like the Iron Islands and then and Dorne. It introduces a lot of new characters, and I believe it was because he was originally going to have it be one book. The 4th and 5th book were supposed to be one book, but it got so massive that he's like, I'm going to split it, and it's going to be 2 books. So you just don't see Jon, Daenerys, Tyrion for an entire book.
OMG.
So,
and did everybody like know that going in, or were you like 350 pages deep and you're like, I think not.
That was me. I didn't know that, so I was reading it and I was like, when are we gonna see the main characters? And
no way.
Never happened.
When did it hit you? Like, were you like, maybe they'll get me with a cliffhanger at like the final chapter? They'll talk about them, or like, did you
Yeah,
realize at some point
pretty
like this
much.
isn't gonna happen?
I went through the 7 stages of grief, and I finally accepted it at the end, but it was still a good book. It was kind of shocking to not see any updates on the main characters. But,
It's so
yeah,
funny.
I agree. I would like the show to have multiple like, if you could have a Bo-Katan episode, they pronounce it differently, like, the armor I've noticed says Bo-Katan, and everybody else says Bo-Katan, but a Bo-Katan episode perfectly fine with me. I thought that I'm really enjoying her, and they haven't really explored it much, but just they've used mostly body language and via like the way she's kept her helmet on and obeyed the creed. I'm interested in how this is going to go for her. If she's truly enjoying being a part of the Children of the Watch, and if this is going to be a positive thing for her going forward, or if they're going to have some kind of falling out and they're going to do something that she doesn't agree with. Um, what's your take on that? Do you think this is gonna go well and they're gonna be like one happy family that reclaims Mandalore, or do you think that there's gonna eventually be a conflict between maybe Bo-Katan and the armor? Oh, I can't hear you. Is it me? Can you hear me? Okay. Oh, you're muted. Okay. I I don't know. I'm assuming she'll be back, but let me catch up on some of your comments. In the meantime, Alice is back. What's up, Alice? Serena says, "Hold on, the show is called The Mandalorian. It's not called Din Djarin. I do not mind the focus shifted more on other Mandalorians such as Bo or Grogu."
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Or as if like everything else is going along today. To answer your question, though, I appreciate that you said that, because I don't know about you, but I felt like there were rumblings of some sort of tension, gaslighting between the armor and Bo. Like, Bo was trying to have like a girl heart to heart, being like, "Listen, now that we're buddies, I trust you a little bit. What would
Yeah,
you
I
say if I
saw
told
some
you?"
shit.
And yeah, like looking for like, listen, girl talk, and the fact that the armor was like, okay, the way she said like, "This is the way" at the end, like,
She does
kind
that
of
a lot.
it was so passive aggressive. I was like, the subtext was like, "Okay, Jan," like it was
Yeah.
very not believing her. So yeah, and that's not to say that's a personal reason, like, but I think I think maybe other Mandalorians would be salty and jealous if somebody, like Bo, who the rest of the covert formerly looked down upon and was like, she ain't legit. If somebody like her then was to see a mythosaur, and I
Right.
could see there being tension there. I'll be completely honest with you. I am worried something is gonna happen, because I don't fully trust Paz. I mean, this episode did a really nice job of showing that he is showing loyalty, allowing Bo to lead the search rescue party for his own foundling. He didn't put up any front about that. Like, he pretty much let her come in and help. The gratitude he showed for Din there at the end, like, it seems like, they're maybe like making some amends with him. But I'll be honest with you, when he said to her like, you have the honor of eating by the fire, and he walked away, I 90% of me actually believed that he was gonna like sneak up on her and like rip her helmet off or something, or like be like, "I caught you without your
You're
helmet on.
no
Now you're not."
Mandalorian.
Yes, like, I was like, why do I feel like he's setting her up right now? So I don't know. Maybe it's unfair of me not to trust him. But I don't know. I really don't know. And I think I have to just let go. I'm still holding on. I don't want Bo. I don't know if I want Bo. Maybe that's why I'm undecided myself. about what I want her to do. So maybe that's
Yeah.
why I'm so neutral. I don't even know.
I want her to. I don't know. It's weird. I want her to not be a part of the Children of the Watch for some reason, but it feels like it's been a positive experience for her. So I guess that it's wrong of me to think that, but I just get this feeling that this isn't going to end well for, and I don't know what it is, but I think it's the show's fault because there's been this subtext of like, oh, maybe the Children of the Watch isn't the best thing. Maybe they're getting into Din's head and they're telling him sweet little lies or something. But I don't know what they're lying to him about aside from like maybe you don't need to always keep your helmet on. That seems like, because what are they doing that's wrong? They're living together as Mandalorians and they're keeping Mandalorian culture alive. It's not a bad thing. It's not like they're selling drugs or something on the sidelines. So
Right.
I just genuinely don't know. And yeah, but the armor at the same time, she does give me this vibe, like you said, very passive aggressive, very know-it-all-y, and like I am the armor. And I feel like if you were to live with her, like if she was your roommate, and you'd be like, "Can you do the dishes tonight?"
Oh.
Like you always leave your dishes in the sink. She'd be like, "This is the way." Like she'll give you a bunch of sass all the time.
Yo, next time Tom tries to front with me about chores, that's what I'm gonna say.
This is the way.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny. That's so true. No, you're right. You're right. I don't think it's any fault of our own. I keep feeling bad. I'm like, why do I feel this weird ick? Like, why shouldn't I be rooting for Bo to have some sort of found family and companionship when we saw her with literally effing nothing and nobody and she was abandoned? Like, why am I not happy for her right now? Why, especially after this episode, it was very harmless and they keep just rewarding her and thanking her and showering her with praise and reaffirming like, hey, maybe you should stick with us because we like you. Why am I not celebrating that, you know? And I think it's because the show is like bait and switching us and
Yeah,
spent, the second season depicting, the reveal of the Children of the Watch to be like, oof, everybody else looks at them as this weird cult. Say the word cult, and that's the biggest red
exactly.
flag in the world. So it's like, I don't think we should I feel bad about feeling bad, but I don't think that we should feel like judging ourselves for having some weird uneasiness because that was the big reveal from a character that we trust, I might
Exactly.
add, like Bo Katan herself saying this. So it was like, oh my gosh, what have we
She
been?
must be right. Bo's never been wrong before. But you said exactly like what I was gonna say. A When you bring up the word cult, and it feels like you could totally see, yeah, it kind of feels a little culty. Like they live together on this planet and whatnot, and they have these traditions. And then B, Bo Katan is a very trusted character that we're immediately just going to take her word for it if she says that they're a cult. I mean, I did. I was like, yep, okay, they're a cult. I'm right behind you, Bo. But again, I just keep coming back to, usually cults, they lure you in by being nice and stuff, but then there's something that they get you to do, or they start like taking over the way you think, and then all of a sudden you don't even realize that you're indoctrinated into it. But it seems like he's been doing this for a long time and he's still a good dude, and they still let him do what he wants. Like she literally says you can go whenever you want. Um, so
That's
I
true.
I
It was
can't
very
figure out.
anti-cult.
Yeah, I can't figure out where the catch is. Like, what's the catch?
You're right, you're right. I didn't even think about that. Like, here we are saying that, "Hey, this seems not bad. This seems pretty good." That's exactly what cults want you to think.
Yeah.
We're taking a deep dive into the history of cults.
On this
That's
episode of the
exact
Cat and Zach Show, we tackle cults and what does it mean to be in a cult.
You're so right, though. And here's the thing, like, they're all equals, but every cult has a ringleader,
Yeah,
somebody who's I was going to say spewing, someone who's disseminating their shared beliefs, or at least, maybe encouraging them and then slowly forcing them on the members and whatnot. Like, who's to say the armorer isn't that ringleader or whatnot? And they, they all look appealing. Well, maybe not all of them, but every time you watch some of these, I escaped a cult or I left a
Yeah.
cult, it's like the first question they get asked is, why the heck were you even there in the first place? And it is extremely easy to be indoctrinated. I think all of us would like to admit, like, I'm smarter than that, but it's actually like terrifyingly easy how simple it can be to
Yeah.
actually be manipulated. So here we are. Maybe they're baiting us again. Maybe this is like on purpose. Shit, Zach, you just planted this
I
fear in my
don't I
head.
like and
Something's gonna happen.
the fact that Mandalorians are so scattered and alone, like they don't have family, it makes them so susceptible to being like, that's what cults do. Like, especially if you don't have any family, they treat you like family, and then you're like, oh, this is so great.
Oh my
I'm
god.
shattering your worldview. but
Oh
but
my
it just but what's the catch, Cat? Like, what do they want? Like,
You are right. What are they hiding? Because yes, cults historically are extremely hard to leave.
right.
So why the fact that they did tell her, hey, you can. Oh, okay, but they do say yes, you can leave whenever you want, but that doesn't necessarily imply we'll let you walk away scot free, and we'll not talk shit behind your back.
Yeah.
Like, I
It,
don't know.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. And I do want to get to the Bad Batch, but yeah, this has been eye opening for us. Like,
Zach, I think can we do actually though, like let's do a stream where we literally just talk about cults. I find this stuff so
yeah,
fascinating, y'all. I know it's like horrific historically, but it's fascinating. It's fascinating, like human nature and how that all works. So forgive
yeah,
me for that, but
I
you're right. Now I'm scared. Like things look so good, but is something gonna happen down the line? Ugh.
no, we should do it. Like, cults are freaking scary and interesting. If you ever, I know you do like chill streams sometimes, but if you ever do a chill
Yeah.
stream on your channel, just see if I'm free and we can talk about cults.
Let's
Um,
do it. Do you have a favorite?
uh, God, no. I try to. There, there's a lot. There's
Maybe
like,
not a favorite. Favorite's the wrong word, but one that you are most like, whoa, perplexed and fascinated by.
I watched a documentary about the what was it called? It was like the guy from India. Happened in the 80s, I think. Of course, because like all the cults happened in the 80s and the
That
70s.
was the time.
Yeah, but it was like this like massive cult that took people from all different countries were just like swept up into it, and they bought land in, I think it was Washington or Oregon. I think it was Oregon. They bought land in Oregon and created like this commune, like this straight up city of just cultists. And then the local town was really threatened by this, and then they kind of got into a cold war with the town, and there's a bunch of shady shit happening. Um, it's probably that one. I don't remember what it's called, but I watched a documentary about it, and it
I
was
was
really
gonna
interesting.
say, text it to me if you remember what it's
Let me
called.
see if I can find it.
Interesting.
Cult
Sorry,
in
folks. I take
Oregon.
responsibility for this tangent.
Oh, it was
That's actually. Go ahead.
Rajneesh. What was the cult called? Rajneesh Param. It was a religious intentional community in northwest United States located in Wasco County, Oregon. Incorporated as a city between 1981 and 1988, its population consisted entirely of Rajneeshis, followers of the spiritual teacher Rajneesh, later known as Osho. Yeah, it was
Ooh.
they attacked the local city with bioterror attacks, and there was an
Oh,
assassination plot. So
whoa. Okay. I was just
let's
about to
yeah.
say that doesn't sound that bad, but
Yeah, it was
never
pretty
mind.
bad. But let's hope that not Death Watch. Let's hope the Children of the Watch aren't trying to do any of that.
We'll find out. We'll see.
But let's move on to the Bad Batch tipping point.
Yeah, it's a really good episode,
It
I gotta
was.
say.
Yeah. I the doctor, the evil doctor is so compelling. Like the way he speaks like this, and just he's talking in a whisper. It's like he could be a cult leader or something. Speaking of cults.
Oh my god. No, you're so right. I love the way the voice actor is portraying him. Because I think villains are scarier when they don't seemingly seem like outwardly
Yeah.
his temperament isn't isn't what you would say, like, because he's so soft spoken and you know is giving Crosshair all these like chances. Like I feel like there are other imperial leaders or whatever that just would have killed him on the spot, if they found him again post escape attempt. But it's scarier to me when someone is seemingly very humanized, and it's like, I mean, he seems cool and calm, but he's clearly twisted on the inside.
Yeah.
Like that's
He might be the most evil person we've seen in the Bad Batch. That's saying something.
He made Rampart look cool. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Rampart is like, I'd hang out with Rampart over this guy. Let's catch up some comments. Serena does not need surgery on her broken foot. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Let's go, Serena.
One thing has gone right today.
Yes. Alice, we are your followers. We're in a cult with you guys, lol. Well, there's no catch to this cult. There's no catch. As long as you guys keep watching. Sal says Mando episode was good. The Bad Batch episode was incredible. The Stanley's Dr. Hemlock is definitely a psycho. Serena says yes, Crosshair and BDSM gear. Great episode.
Oh my god.
Crosshair is having like there's been a lot of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest-esque kind of stuff going on in Star Wars the last couple weeks. Crosshair is experiencing that. Jimmy Simpson is doing a great job. Sal says Jimmy Simpson is doing a great job voicing Hemlock. Reminds me of an evil Sam Witwer meets Yang from Psych, who Jimmy plays a character on. The Doctor is a McDoyle. Bad Batch continues to outshine Mando these past few weeks. The big question, Mandalorian Legion says, is who will kick the bucket next week? Do you think anyone dies? And is that person potentially got a 3-letter name and looks like a lizard?
Oh, I'm scared about what's gonna happen. First of all, I don't think we're gonna see her. I don't know, because
they have to tie her in. They've been setting up her betrayal for the whole season. If they don't tie her in, I'll be even more mad, because that means it was all wasted. It was all for nothing.
All this hatred for Sid was for naught.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
I low-key forgot. I low-key forgot about her. You going to see Return of the King, by the way?
I want to so bad. When does it come out in theaters?
April 13th, I think.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely gonna do that.
Like 4+ hours long. Sorry, I'm so excited. But I low-key forgot about her until Echo was like, "You're not talking to Sid anymore?" I was like, shoot, that's still open. So, I mean, you are right. I'm so scared, and I already dislike her so much. For her to really solidify it there. I mean, I guess it would vindicate you after all of these weeks, after all this time. But I low-key, I don't know, because I guess it all adds up. Because what I'm interpreting is they're trying to go stake a rescue now on and go get Crosshair. Like, what? I don't. That's what I got.
Do that? Like,
why would they even like?
That place is nuts.
Yeah. So I don't know, or maybe they'll have no choice, because I think you're probably right. I think Sid will probably betray them, and she maybe knows where they are, and will direct the Empire to go there and collect Omega, and then they'll have no choice but to go. I think it would be crazy for them to go on their own volition just to go and save Crosshair.
Yeah.
Because if anything, he's sending them a warning, being like, hey, lay low and freaking don't come near the Empire. So that actually might be what goes to. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that if they try to rescue him, someone should probably die, because that base is insane. Like, I feel like in Star Wars Rebels we saw 50 episodes where they infiltrated a little outpost or a base and stole from the Empire or rescued someone. But this just feels different. Like, this is their Area 51. You're not breaking into Area 51. It's not happening. You're gonna get wrecked. So I know that
You're
they're
gonna get wrecked.
at the best case scenario, you get wrecked. Worst case scenario, you get disappeared forever. But yeah, I
You
would.
get disappeared.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it would be a bad idea to go rescue Crosshair, but I feel like it's what they're going to end up doing. Another thing I wanted to bring up, I haven't really been plugged into the Bad Batch discourse, or if this has been a topic of conversation, but does anyone else think that I don't know what her name is, but the doctor's assistant, does anyone think she's maybe like a first draft of Omega? Because she
Her,
looks
yes. Okay, yes, her voice when she was talking. Like she said something this episode. She might have said Crosshair's name. I think
close.
it was yeah, I
She
think it was
sounds the
literally
same.
yes. When she said that line, I was like, "What the f?" She sounded exactly like Omega. Exactly. Uh, so you could be onto something. You could
She
be.
kind of looks like her. I feel like she's got a little darker skin tone, but she looks
Yeah.
like Omega, but older. And she's also not completely evil. She seems like a nice person. Like she tried to get Crosshair to be tortured less,
Mm-hmm.
which is something, I guess. And then she didn't want him to try to escape because she knew it would end badly. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it just they sound so similar. They're not the same voice actresses I looked, but they sound so similar and they look very similar. I wouldn't be surprised if it's revealed that she was like an early, I don't know, first draft of Omega, or like Omega wasn't the first one, because Omega doesn't mean first. Like Alpha is first, then Omega is Alpha and the Omega, right? Isn't that like the beginning and the
That's
end?
true.
So
Yeah.
maybe she's called Omega for a reason. I don't know. But it's just something that I couldn't stop thinking about because they're so similar.
Yeah. No, that could be, and it's like Omega, they taught her the science, correct? Like she was their assistants for the Kaminoans. She like worked directly with them. So that is plausible. And they definitely made note and really emphasized that she has some kind of compassion and empathy here and is trying to
Yeah,
make things better at least, or less worse, less bad. I can't speak grammatically correct anymore at this hour, but she definitely isn't full blown evil, and the way she was trying to reach Crosshair seemed very much like a hey, I've been there, done that situation. You're not gonna get out of here. Just sit down and calm down, and we can work this through. You know, there was some sort of
empathy.
she
Yeah,
knew she knew step by step what would have happened to him. So
because
you could be onto something.
everybody else feels like they treat the clones like they're just test subjects, but she was humanizing him for sure. Alice says sounds like unconscious bias to me. The voice actress Stanley says the voice actress is Australian New Zealander. Sarita says it's not like there could be two New Zealanders in the entire galaxy.
Oh my
And it's
goodness.
fair. It's definitely fair, but you can't deny she looks like an older Omega. Otherwise, I wouldn't have. Like if they were completely different looking, I wouldn't have said anything. They just look very similar to me. But and if it's revealed that she's actually an older clone of Omega, or I guess Omega would be a younger clone of her, or they're both clones of Jango Fett but female. I want an apology from both of you. If that's the case.
Formal
Handwritten apology. But it's probably not. It's just a wild theory. And which is another thing I was thinking about, because I saw a lot of people saying after it was revealed back to Mandalorian that it wasn't anybody that we knew that saved Grogu, and like it wasn't Jocasta Nu, it wasn't Barris. Do you think that I feel like this fandom has a tendency to try to tie everything together? And I saw a theory where it was like, oh, people think Scarif is gonna end up being Pabu, like Pabu is Scarif. It's like it's just
the
another.
whole Omega is Elia Kane. It's like, why does
Yeah,
everything have to be foreshadowing for something else? But nah, you're so right. I think we just love. I think because it's a fandom founded on literally the biggest shock in cinema history is,
right.
oh, by the way, this overarching villain is the hero's father. Like, I guess we're just, it's in our nature
It's in our
to
DNA.
find, what can we figure out next? Like, what's the next plot twist? Who knows?
CSL.
Bye, Sal. I'm
Alice
so
says my
sad.
comment was just a joke. You're not getting out of this, Alice. I will have that handwritten apology.
You're not getting away with this.
But I guess so the episode as a whole, I thought it was really good. It seems like you did as well.
Yeah.
This is what I've wanted for the whole season. I just wish we had more consistency like this, more stakes, and more world building. I'm really fascinated with this base. Obviously, I think it's probably the ground floor of Palpatine's obsession with cloning.
Ooh.
And it's interesting because Mandalorian's doing something similar. They're also having Dr. Pershing wants to complete his work, cloning or whatever. So those two shows are very related in that. That's like one of the lines that they're linked to. So I don't know. What do you? I guess I'm just really interested to uncover more about this base. Like, do you think they're gonna capture
And
Jedi
the
and experiment on them?
experiments, yes. Like, Star Wars has really been hinting at that lately, like experimentation and, Kenobi, all those Jedi are frozen in like resin or whatnot. It's like,
Yeah,
why were they frozen? Other than display, decor purposes, like, were they doing something with them? They must have, caught them and kept them in a collection for a reason. So lots of different themes about experimentation and cloning and all of these science projects for malicious purposes. So I agree. I hope I guess not that I want to see that type of stuff, and maybe for the sake of sometimes things are scarier when we don't see it on screen. Like our imaginations can be worse than whatever they could actually depict. So
right.
I think it's enough to just have like Tech, for example, reading what's the science guy's name? Scary soft spoken dude.
That's how I know I'm scary soft spoken dude.
Hemlock.
Dr. Hemlock. Yeah.
Hemlock, yes. I think it can be equally, if not more, scary to just have a scene where Tech reads his resume and is like, oh, he got kicked out of the Republic for weird experimentation. Like, that's enough to be like, holy smokes, something effed up is going on. And our brains can sometimes imagine worse things than whatever they could show. So, but I want to see, what is it all leading to, like, why so much experimentation? What would they want with the clones, especially, other than like forms of torture? He probably had like test subjects for this weird gas toxin that they took Crosshair out with. Like, who's to say he didn't use clones for that? So it's like, what
Yeah.
is the purpose of Mount Tantus? I guess exactly.
He kind of Hemlock reminds me of Mengele, the Joseph Mengele, the Nazi. He was like the lead Nazi scientist, and he did these awful experiments on human beings during the war, and like he was sadistic and he like enjoyed it. Like he did all kinds of crazy shit to twins and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, Dr. Death. He's called like the Angel of Death, stuff like that. The Stanleys is saying that Dr. Death. He reminds me of him because he's taunting Crosshair in this like really soft-spoken, like friendly voice, but his words are just vile and venomous. And then he's like smile, like he's doing it with a smile on his face, like he's enjoying the cruelty, and that is pure evil. When you enjoy cruelty, that is like just the purest form of evil, I think. And he's just creepy, and I think it's great though. I think it's a great villain.
yeah.
In the
Do you
making.
believe him for a second when he was, the offer on the table was, just tell me where the Bad Batch is and I'll let you walk out of here for free?
No
Like,
way. No
yeah.
way.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely not. He'll probably let him walk out of there, but it'd probably do something to his brain to where he's mind controlled or
Yeah.
brainwashed or something.
True.
Let's see. Let's we're getting close to an hour here. Let's move on to the other topics. So, I think I still have the article up. I do. This happens every week, folks, but there's another another
Zach! On this week's installment. Okay, wait, yes. I'm hype about this. The
on this
creator of
week,
Peaky
yeah.
Blinders.
On this week's installment of Who's Doing a Star Wars Movie, Star Wars Stephen Knight steps in to write new movie following Damon Lindelof's departure. And we'll scroll down and read the article. One of Lucasfilm's upcoming Star Wars features has found a new writer, with Peaky Blinders creator Stephen Knight stepping in. Knight will work on a script for the project from Oscar-winning filmmaker Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, who has helmed episodes of Ms. Marvel. The episode comes just after the departures of lost Damon Lindelof and up-and-coming writer Justin Britt Gibson from the project. Lindelof began working on the film in July 2022, secretly holding a 2-week session with writers to break a story before he and Britt Gibson went off to write the script that sources say will take place after 2019's Rise of Skywalker. Rise of Skywalker was a turning point, blah, blah, blah. You know that. No date has been set for the movie, though Disney has said a Star Wars feature is set for December 19th, 2025. The movie comes ahead of next month's Star Wars Celebration in London, where Lucasfilm is expected to reveal more about its big screen plans. So I think what catches my eye the most about this article is I don't really care about who's doing it, because I'll believe it when I see it, because we do this every week. I wouldn't be surprised if next week this guy has left the Star Wars project for whatever reason. But assuming that this actually happens, I'm surprised. I want your thoughts about this too. I'm surprised that they're just going right back to what sounds like it could just be a follow-up to Rise of Skywalker. And I think the article mentions that Daisy Ridley is rumored to have been signed on already. So is that surprising to you that they would just follow up the sequels with a continuation of Rey's story?
Yeah. Yes. I did not realize that. I'm sorry, I blacked out. I was so blinded by my hype for Peaky Blinders. I didn't realize that was the trajectory here, at least the rumored timeline, because I feel like we're both in agreement, Zach. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're very open to post sequel content if it's like, get me away far in the future, like
Right.
so far off, far removed from it that it's essentially a whole new timeline, clean, fresh as can be slate. So Rey is to be in it. I'm not opposed if it's like maybe she's returning and they're gonna age her the frick up. Maybe it's not gonna be Daisy Ridley, in her 20-something-year-old form. Maybe she'll be like 50-year-old Rey or something, like maybe that could be. I'm willing to see that. I have no problem with Rey. I think I'm just a little bit like, really? Like, are you sure about that? If to cut it so close to the sequels, because it almost kind of invalidates the kind of the arc and the closure and the beginning, middle, end of that trilogy, to then have like a story continue so shortly after. Not that we don't assume that life goes on in the galaxy, but like, in order for there to be a story, there has to be conflict. So what would the conflict be?
Exactly. You're 100% right all across the board. I think I've always said that I would be open to seeing Rey again, but this is a little soon. Like, even me, as someone who's been banging the table for a Star Wars movie, even I'd be pretty skeptical about going back to Rey already. Like, I just want to. The title call is just like da 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 da.
Oh my god!
I just don't. Ooh. I don't know if this is what you want to do to bring Star Wars back to the big screen, because so many people were turned off by the sequels. And Rey, for better or for worse, is kind of the poster child of the sequel. I mean, she's the main character. So going right back to the sequels, which I think that one of the things that I've enjoyed about the last few years is that we haven't done anything with the sequels. We've explored more of the prequel era. We've gotten High Republic stuff. We've filled in the gaps between 3 and 4, of course, because they seem to always do that. And though I'm a little tired of that, I'd still rather see that than the sequels, because the sequels just feel so hollow. And you're right again when you say, like, they concluded that was supposed to be the end of the Skywalker saga. You know, like that was supposed to be it. So you're telling me that they're already going to have some big conflict worthy of making a movie about right after that, like a few years after that. So
Yeah.
it's just very surprising to me. Like I'm stunned that they're going to do this. I can't believe it if this is true.
Yeah. But conflict of rights, you know, that you know, thing you're everybody in the galaxy was showing up on it for. I have hope. Peaky Blinders. Peaky Blinders is a great example. They have amazing conflict, but it's not necessarily like this big life or death situation all the time. It's very much they can build up just one single villain, and it's enough to like drive you crazy and be like, they have to eliminate that person. And it kind of refreshes each season. Like each season kind of does have a clean slate, you know, supposedly when you approach the next one, that it's not like they're an anthology in any way. The whole story is connected, but if you've seen the show, you know, there's kind of a new threat each time around. So that gives me some hope that there can, I guess, be some conflict. Or I think there is still a lot to be explored in regards to Exegol and the entire weird Sith cult, and you know, everything. You know, like Kylo Ren. You know, like stuff surrounding that I feel like could just be an interesting story that doesn't necessarily have to have like galaxy altering stakes, you know what I mean? But also Star Wars fans are not going to want to show up after all this time. I mean, what's the slate? When's this going to come out, if at all? It stinks because my interest is so peaked because Peaky Blinders is effing phenomenal, but what are the odds? What's the statistics here? It's like clockwork. Literally, we were talking on Tuesday about a canceled project, and now in the follow-up, here's this. It's like ugh. Oh, now you're muted. What's going on? Can y'all hear Zach? Is it just me? I wouldn't be surprised if it was just me that can't hear Zach. Let me know.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, my headset was having an issue and I had to unplug a bunch of stuff. But no, I agree. I think that with competent writing and with a plan and direction, Ray could have a good story. Like you could make a good story about Ray, which I'd be very open to seeing. Like I'd love nothing more than for Ray to be a great character. However, I'd rather see something new and fresh. I'd rather just do something completely new. I'd rather close the book on that era of Star Wars and just make new characters, go 1,000 years in the future, 100 years in the future, or go to the Old Republic, do something different, something unique. Like I don't want to see X-Wings, I don't want to see TIE fighters, I don't want to see Star Destroyers, Stormtroopers, I don't want to see anything that we've seen so many times before. I want something new. Like what was it called? The trailer for that Star Wars game that we're never gonna see because it's gonna
Eclipse.
That is what I want. Like if that was a movie, oh my god.
Oh. Yeah, RIP to another shelved. Right? That's officially like no longer happening. I think I was still under the impression it was like just far off in the future, but I think someone broke the news to me lately that it's just officially not. Maybe I'm spreading lies.
Lies! Deceptions!
Lies! We gotta get a soundboard. Oh my god, I'm just all of Saw Gerrera.
It's the whole soundboard. It's just Saw Gerrera.
That's it. Let's call it war.
Whoa. Did you come here to kill me? I think that's my favorite line. But speaking of Saw Gerrera and video games,
True. Good
Jedi Survivor
tie-in.
story trailer. We did not talk about this on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, however you want to do it. I figure we could just watch it right now, and we can do we can do a good old cat reaction, but live. So here, let's see. I want to make sure they can see it because it's always a little behind. No, let's see. I think it should be good now. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's been a long 5 years.
Coruscant.
We've tried to resist. Fear and mistrust rule the galaxy.
Cal, look into the fire. It will warm you, keep you company. But left unchecked, it will consume everything until there is only ash.
How could you let the galaxy fall to this unworthy machine of an empire?
Hope may feel beyond our grasp. But I think we finally found somewhere the Empire can't reach us.
Imagine. No more looking over your shoulder.
A place that's worth fighting for. No matter the cost.
So that's the trailer. I do want to say my least favorite part of this trailer, this scene right here, the puzzles.
No! Frick.
Yeah. But what jumped at you the most about the trailer as a whole? Was there a shot that piqued your interest the most?
Ooh, a shot. Ooh. I don't know if there's a specific shot. It definitely took me, like, I can never register on the first watch through. It definitely took me like a few times having to watch that to even get a sense for what the storyline is gonna be. I didn't even notice this the first time again watching it because I was just so like blacked out with excitement. But I think the very first clip, Tom pointed out that it looks like they're in an Inquisitor's ship, and there's an Inquisitor like falling out of the cracked glass into the void out of the ship there. So that could be. I think the Inquisitors were one of my favorite parts of the first game. So if they're still
This
around
right here.
Yeah, it's literally the very first this sequence.
I think that's a purge trooper.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a purge trooper.
actually, in that angle, I think you're right.
Sorry to rain on the parade.
Hey, still fun. There were clips, I think, in the other trailer that look like we actually have to fly the ship this game. That's a
That'd
new
be
element
sick.
that I'm like not looking forward to, but
You don't
I think it would
fancy
be
yourself
fun.
a pilot? I want to
Until there is
get
only ash.
How could you let the galaxy fall?
this guy right here. So
Well, that looks cool. Yeah.
his dialogue sounds like, I think he's a Jedi, and I think he's been in cryo or something since the High Republic. That's my crazy theory.
No, I don't think that sounds crazy. That seems to be what a lot of people on Twitter are speaking as if that's fact. Like allegedly
really?
confirming that he's like High Republic. Like if you look at his robes
Yeah.
and stuff, people are very certain that that's what it is. His lightsaber, like And the fact that he seemingly has like no idea about the Empire and whatnot, which I'm really excited because I mean I think it sounds like they're setting him up to be like a oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Similar to like Terran
Anti-hero?
Malicos. Yeah, like I guess not the same as Terran, because Terran gave up on the Jedi versus like this guy would be so driven by his rage and anger that like it would drive him to be a bad guy. I don't know. So I'm excited. I'm just excited for whatever that reveal is going to be. But I also like the overarching plot. Like I like the idea now of, because I think my biggest question is like, well, what even is the conflict going to be? And it seems like they're definitely like searching for new planets to someplace to like live and hide from the Empire, So I think that'll be exciting.
Yeah, because it seems like they've spent the last few years fighting and it hasn't gone well. I mean, you can't really fight the Empire,
Right.
both from an in-universe perspective and an out-of-universe perspective, because we know that the Empire doesn't fall until Return of the Jedi and after. So I think that, yeah, they're just going to be realizing we can't beat the Empire, so we might as well just find a place to lay down our roots and settle down. And I think it's going to be an interesting fight to achieve that. And I'm really curious to how the High Republic Jedi, if that is indeed what he is, factors into this. And we also see it's the big dude, the big bounty hunter looking dude. He is a what is the species called? It's basically Dirge's species. You haven't seen I don't think the old Clone Wars show, but Dirge is like this really sick bounty hunter who lived he's a Jedi. Yeah, so he's confirmed to be a Jedi, same species as Dirge. They heal. They're basically like Wolverine. They heal really quickly. They live forever. Dirge was like over 1,000 years old, which is pretty nuts.
This is the guy who is like
the purple
approaching
looking
that
dude.
Yeah, the little like frog guy was on the ground like now, and he was walking towards him. Is that guy?
No, it's the
different guy. Never mind.
Yeah, let me see if I can find the shot. Maybe it was that guy. Maybe you're right. Here, I'll show it though. God, I have so many tabs open.
He's like very tall.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? I might be thinking of.
It's this dude. Kind of looks like a troll from Lord of the Rings.
The anticipation. I can't see it yet. Oh, come on. Here we go. That guy.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. That's interesting. So he's a bounty, or he's just same species as a
same
bounty
species.
hunter.
Yeah, it's not Dirge himself, but he's the same species. So it means that he lives a long time. So that would also tie into if they know each other from the past, him and the High Republic Jedi. That would explain why they're seemingly working together, because they were friends back in the day,
thousands of years ago. Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting. That's another little wrinkle. I'm really excited about this game. I don't think EA is going to screw it up. I think that it's going to be okay. It just looks too good, and there's no microtransactions and loot boxes like EA loves to do. So I'm coming down from the hill. I think it's going to be a good game.
Yes, Zach has hope for once. Let's go.
Is this what it feels like to have hope?
I'm feeling. Welcome.
Visitor Zeta says it's Thanos' less successful cousin.
Oh my goodness.
They had to shoot Dirge into his son to kill him, says the Stanleys. Yes, they did.
What?
Anakin did it, actually, in Legends. But yeah, anything else you want to cover before we get on out of here? We've gone a little over.
Yeah, I'm sad we're not going to end with our good old emoji rain. This has been so boring. How did we live before? Like,
I don't know.
We had the emoji rain. It just spruces the place up so much. But no, I'm excited. I feel like we're poised here. I'm excited for Bad Batch finale. Excited for rest of Mando. Wild that we're already halfway done the season of Mando and already almost done Bad Batch, but at least we have Jedi Survivor on the other side to dry our tears with when both of them are over. So.
And we have, even though we're not going, we have Star Wars Celebration, which they'll announce stuff, so we'll get announcements.
Yo, Zach, we gotta plan like a FOMO stream for Celebration.
we should get like, I'll find footage of Star Wars Celebration, and I'll record it, and then I'll have it be our background. So
oh my
god, it'll be great.
Yes, do it. That would be hysterical. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. You know what? Yeah. We're gonna have so much fun that y'all who are actually at Celebration are gonna wish you were on our journey.
Yeah, Charlie, you'll wish you were here with us in America, sitting in front of our computers and talking to each other on the webcams instead of meeting Ewan and Hayden. And yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I'm not bitter.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, Alice wants to know anything you're doing, Zach and Kat, that's coming out soon. Any projects or videos?
I can't say. Not that I have anything like secret going on. I'm still debating whether I want to like I guess just more reactions. More reactions. I really want to do some cooking. I say this every time, cooking with Kat, but I'm not going to string you guys along anymore because I don't have one in the pipeline necessarily, but I don't know. I got to do something other than reactions. I'm hoping that in April I'll have some more time to make some more vids. What about you?
I just shorts and stuff. Yeah, I want to do a video at some point, but it's hard to find the time to edit. But I should.
I gotta be real. I uploaded a short today. I was like, I see the appeal. It's so easy. All you gotta do is 1 minute worth of content, upload it, and then it's so easy to repurpose for like Instagram Reels, TikTok. I was like, oh my god, this is why this is like taking over.
Yeah, so. The algorithm's just so much better than like your standard YouTube video. And you can do more. You can make more shorts. But guys, that's gonna do it for us. Thank you for joining us on another edition of the Kat and Zach Show. We have enjoyed very much talking to you, even though we couldn't show your comments. Hopefully that'll never be an issue again. It just always seems like whenever us two go live without Alex, I don't know if it's a coincidence. I'm not hurling any accusations anywhere, but there is one common denominator that isn't present for all of these. So
well, that means things go better when he's here is what I'm hearing. It's like,
is it a reminder that Alex we need him or something? Is that but sorry, no emoji rain, everybody, but we'll see you on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning for the Mando stream. Have a good weekend, folks, and we'll see you on the next